Leo, let me say it plainly, there's a massive financial blessing moving quietly behind you right now. And tomorrow, October 15th, could shift everything. You didn't stumble on this video by accident. You were guided here. Maybe you were scrolling without intention. Maybe something about the title tugged at you. Maybe you've been holding something heavy that no one else sees. Either way, you're here. And I want you to know. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. This isn't just another horoscope reading. I'm not here to throw vague inspiration or cosmic fluff. I'm here to tell you something real is happening. And it's not loud. It's not flashy. It's not something you can hustle toward. It's something that arrives when you finally stop pushing. There's a kind of power that shows up when you're still. Not passive, not checked out, but available. That's what this moment is asking of you. To be available for the blessing already on its way. Because I've seen this pattern before, and I can feel it now in your energy, Leo. You're not being asked to do more. You're being asked to allow more. I pulled the star this morning during my meditation for this reading. That's not coincidence. The star shows up when it's time for healing, for soft restoration after long storms. It brings a promise that your hope wasn't wasted. That what felt delayed was actually being refined. Combined with Venus now moving through your second house of finance and value, we're looking at a portal that doesn't demand your performance. It rewards your alignment. So here's what I want you to do. Take a breath. A real one. Feel your shoulders drop. Notice how your body reacts when I say this. You don't have to chase this. The money, the breakthrough, the recognition, it's already circling you. What if I told you the only thing left to do is nothing at all? That's a hard truth for a Leo. You're used to taking charge, leading the room, blazing forward with confidence. But even the brightest fire has moments where it dims, not because it's dying, but because it's gathering strength for something bigger. That's where you are now. A moment of pause, not because you've lost direction, but because the universe is clearing space for something you've long asked for. And look, I get it. This isn't the kind of message that gets hearts racing. Stillness doesn't always feel productive. But this stillness is sacred. And if you're honest, I think a part of you has known for a while that something is forming right beneath the surface of your life. You felt the subtle shifts. The strange calm. The silence that almost hums. That's not a void. That's the sound of alignment. So stay with me. Don't scroll away just yet. What's about to unfold isn't just personal, it's precise. The kind of precise only divine timing can deliver. If this resonates with something you've been carrying quietly, let the universe know you're ready. Comment below and say, I'm ready. I'm still. I receive. Let that be your signature, your agreement with what's already on its way. Let me also take a moment to thank you for being here. Every comment, every like, every moment you spend with this space. It tells the universe you're showing up for your own transformation. And on this channel, we don't just talk about alignment, we live it, we practice it, we become it. So settle in. Let me show you what's happening behind the scenes of your life. You'll want to stay with me until the very end. Because what's unfolding now, Leo, is nothing short of divine. Sometimes, the most powerful shifts in our lives happen not with a loud bang, but in a deep, quiet hush. And right now, Leo, you're standing in one of those exact moments. This isn't about passivity or stepping back out of fear. It's about recognizing when the universe is already doing the heavy lifting and all that's required from you is presence. Venus, the planet of beauty, abundance, and divine magnetism, is moving into your second house, the house that rules over your money, self-worth, values, and everything you physically and emotionally possess. In astrology, this isn't just a transit, it's an energetic invitation. And for a sign like yours, one so rooted in bold action and courageous leadership, the invitation is radical in its simplicity: be still. Stillness isn't always easy to embrace. In fact, in a world that glorifies the hustle, stillness can feel like doing something wrong. But the truth is, Leo, there are seasons for roaring and seasons for resting. And when Venus steps into the second house, it's not asking you to chase wealth, it's asking you to receive it. Not because you've earned it through effort, but because you've already become someone who aligns with it. This is where the message from the star card becomes so potent. The star doesn't scream. It doesn't demand. It appears after a long journey through darkness, after chaos, confusion, and collapse. It's the light that comes not to fix you, but to remind you that nothing has been wasted. That beauty can bloom again from broken places. That financial hope isn't dead, it was simply waiting for you to become steady enough to hold it. I've seen this in real life, too, not just in charts or cards. I've seen people who stopped striving because life demanded they rest. And that's when the call came. The unexpected refund. The surprising approval. The person who believed in them when they least expected it. Because they had finally become still enough to receive what they'd been pushing away with all their effort. Stillness is magnetic, Leo. It's not about quitting. It's about shifting into a frequency where what's meant for you can find you without you needing to fight for it. Think of it like this: when you're moving too fast, constantly reaching, constantly bracing, the energy you send out says, "I don't have it yet." And the universe, in its brilliance, echoes that right back. But when you slow down, soften, and simply allow, your energy says, "I'm ready. I already trust that it's coming." That's when it arrives. And I know you've been conditioned to believe that rest means you're falling behind. But what if that's the old story? What if your new story is that rest is the gateway to restoration, and that restoration is the path to riches, not just in money, but in peace, clarity, and inner wealth? There's even a spiritual truth here, one that's echoed in sacred teachings: be still and know. That line isn't just about silence, it's about confidence in divine timing. It's about trusting that there's a rhythm bigger than your will, and that rhythm is working in your favor, even when you can't hear the beat. So I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time something beautiful happened for you, not because you chased it, but because you waited with an open heart? When was the last time your patience was the reason you received something you didn't even expect? This isn't about earning anymore. It's about alignment. And you, Leo, are entering a rare window where your stillness is speaking louder than your strength. You're not being asked to perform. You're being asked to trust. Trust that who you've become is enough. Trust that what you've carried, what you've survived, what you've given, has already made room for what's coming. Let me ask you, have you ever been rewarded simply for being sincere, steady, and true to yourself, even when it was hard? Tell me in the comments. Your story might be the very sign someone else needs to believe again. Stay with me, because this moment isn't about waiting, it's about welcoming. Leo, if you've been feeling like something's shifting just beneath the surface, something you can't quite name yet but sense in your bones, you're not imagining it. The energy building toward October 15th isn't ordinary. It's the kind that whispers before it roars. And if you felt a strange quiet, a sort of pause, around your plans or finances lately, that's because a powerful alignment is preparing to open a new door. When the moon forms a harmonious trine with Uranus, especially in signs that activate your financial or professional houses, we get an energy that's both electric and liberating. This isn't the kind of cosmic shift that forces you to act, it's the kind that removes blockages. Suddenly, what felt stuck starts to move. What seemed out of reach starts knocking on your door. The moon speaks to emotion and instinct. Uranus is the bringer of surprises, liberation, and divine disruption. And when they dance together, you can expect unexpected clarity, emotional breakthroughs, and, yes, sudden blessings. But here's the thing about Uranus, it never asks for permission. It just rearranges what no longer fits. And if you've been clinging to an outdated version of success or trying to make something work out of obligation rather than inspiration, this transit will likely shake that loose. Not to hurt you, but to free you. Because you can't carry new wealth with hands full of old burdens. This is what I meant earlier when I said something is forming quietly behind you. You may not see the full picture yet, but you're already standing at the threshold. And if you've been seeing repeating numbers like 111, 222, or 888, those aren't coincidences. That's how universal intelligence speaks when your logical mind is too busy to listen. 111 signals alignment. 222 reminds you that things are coming together even when it doesn't look like it. And 888? That's financial flow. That's abundance knocking. Some people ignore these signals. But I've worked with clients who, after noticing repeating numbers, received unexpected refunds, job offers they didn't apply for, or invitations that changed the direction of their lives. Because they didn't brush it off. They paid attention. They responded energetically by saying, "Yes, I'm open." That simple awareness turns signs into synchronicities and synchronicities into shifts. You see, when something new is coming, your outer world doesn't always get the memo first. It starts in your inner landscape, your energy field. Think of a tree in early spring. Before any leaves appear, something stirs at the root. The ground warms. The sap begins to flow. It all happens invisibly until one morning, almost like magic, a bud appears. That's where you are right now. Not waiting. Becoming. So if you've been waking up from vivid dreams, getting emotional for no reason, or finding yourself in deep reflection about what really matters, those are your roots stirring. That's your inner system adjusting to a new frequency. You're not going backward. You're getting ready for something bigger than your last chapter allowed. And here's a gentle but powerful suggestion, write it down. The numbers you've been seeing. The emotions coming up. The dreams that won't leave you. Write them like you're documenting a miracle unfolding in slow motion. Because you are. Your energy field is already syncing up with a version of life that holds more ease, more wealth, more freedom, but only if you're willing to release the grip on how it should arrive. Take a breath and reflect with me. What number has been following you lately? What keeps showing up on receipts, clocks, license plates, or phone notifications? Comment it below. It might not seem like much now, but that could be your millionaire code gently nudging you forward. And someone else might just need to see it to believe in their own. Keep your eyes open, Leo. Something rare is unfolding, and it's got your name on it. It's funny how the body always knows before the mind catches up. Maybe lately you've been feeling more tired than usual. Not exhausted from overwork, but the kind of tired that sinks deep into your bones, the kind that no amount of coffee or rest seems to shake. Or maybe you've caught yourself tearing up at small things, even when nothing feels wrong. And when you try to explain it, you can't. It's just there, a quiet unraveling inside you. If that sounds familiar, you're not broken. You're upgrading. When we talk about healing or transformation in the spiritual or energetic sense, we often forget one important piece. Your body has to come along for the journey, too. Energy doesn't just shift in your thoughts or in your spiritual awareness, it rewires your nervous system, softens your tension, and releases what your muscles have been carrying for years without your permission. What you've been feeling, Leo, isn't weakness. It's a detox. Your system is preparing to hold more light, more clarity, more abundance, and it's letting go of what no longer matches that future. These waves of fatigue or emotion are not setbacks. They're evidence. Evidence that your body is clearing space. And this matters now more than ever, because what's approaching you, a financial blessing, yes, but more importantly, a new energetic rhythm can't land on a body locked in old survival codes. Your body needs to feel safe. And for some of you, that may be a new experience. This is where practical support becomes spiritual practice. Simple things make a difference when they're done with intention. Drinking clean, mineral-rich water helps flush old energetic patterns. Supplements like magnesium and B12 support your nervous system as it learns how to regulate without the adrenaline of fear. Meditation or even just intentional breathing with a soft candlelight isn't a luxury, it's medicine. Not flashy, but deeply effective. And food? It speaks a language older than any affirmation. Right now, you may find yourself drawn to colors that seem to call you deep purples, rich golds, forest greens. There's a reason. Purple is the color of sovereignty, inner wisdom, and spiritual wealth. Gold holds the vibration of divine provision and worth. Green reminds your cells of stability and growth. So when you eat roasted beets, ripe figs, turmeric, or even something as simple as dark grapes, you're not just nourishing your body, you're reattuning it to a frequency of calm abundance. Your body understands color, taste, and sensation long before it understands strategy. Even the clothes you wear, the way you light your room, the music that plays in the background, it's all part of how you signal to your body that it's safe to receive. So yes, while the stars are aligning and energy is moving in your favor, your body still needs your cooperation. Because here's a truth I've seen again and again: no matter how ready your mind is, nothing changes until your body feels it can relax. Until your heart believes it's safe to let go of hypervigilance. Until your breath stops bracing for another impact that never comes. So I want to ask you something you might not have been asked in a while. Have you been treating your body like the sacred home it is? Have you allowed it to soften into this new season? Or have you expected it to keep operating in old rhythms while your soul tries to leap forward? Take a moment with me. Feel your breath. Notice your posture. And ask yourself gently, not critically, what would it look like to support your body as if you knew for sure that abundance was on its way? That peace wasn't a goal, but a starting place? I'd love for you to share your honest answer below. Not for validation, but to begin that shift. To make the invisible real. Because your healing is no longer optional. It's the foundation. And the more rooted your body becomes, the more your blessings know exactly where to land. There comes a time in your journey, Leo, when proving yourself is no longer necessary, when the quiet strength of your presence carries more power than any loud declaration ever could. If you felt like you've been waiting, like life put you on pause just when you were ready to rise, it's not because you're not good enough, smart enough, or fast enough. It's because you were being refined to receive, not to chase. The Hierophant showed up in your energetic field for a reason. This card isn't about flashy success or external validation. It's about sacred order. It honors tradition, integrity, inner alignment, and timeless truths. It speaks to the kind of wealth that can't be faked, the kind built from staying rooted in your values, even when no one was clapping. Even when it cost you more than it gained you. It reminds us that real abundance doesn't come to the loudest voice in the room, it comes to the one who remained honest when no one was watching. You see, Leo, you're not here to hustle for blessings. You're here to hold them. Not out of entitlement, but out of quiet readiness. You've walked through seasons that were meant to humble you, not humiliate you. You've held your truth when it would have been easier to give in, and that kind of spiritual stamina, that depth of character, is exactly why you are trusted with more now. I know it's tempting to want to prove your worth. To shout out your plans. To seek applause to confirm you're on the right path. But what if I told you the confirmation has already happened? What if your inner knowing is louder in heaven than any announcement on earth? The truth is, not everyone is meant to receive this kind of energy. Some are still in the proving stage, and that's okay. But you? You've moved into the stewardship stage. You're not here to convince anyone of your light. You're here to build with it. There's an art to quiet receiving. It doesn't mean shrinking. It means no longer needing to be seen in order to believe in yourself. It's like a mountain, it doesn't rise to be admired. It rises because that's what it was built to do. So if you feel something big is coming but nothing seems to be happening on the outside, don't panic. What's forming around you is too sacred to be broadcasted prematurely. The energy isn't asking you to perform. It's asking you to prepare. Lay the foundation. Ground your vision. Clean your internal house. When the doors open, and they will, you won't have to force them. They'll swing open because you're finally standing in alignment with who you've always been meant to be. And you know what? That kind of shift doesn't announce itself with noise. It unfolds in whispers. In clarity. In the calm you used to crave but didn't know how to hold. You're learning how to hold it now. That's the miracle. So let me ask you something, and I ask not from judgment, but from a place of deep compassion. What are you still trying to prove? And to whom? What if the person you've been trying to convince was never the one who had the authority to crown you in the first place? Take a breath. You've come further than you think. The light is already on you. And the ones who are meant to see it, will. You don't need to post it, explain it, announce it, or edit it for approval. Just live it. If this resonates, I invite you to reflect and share in the comments below. Are you ready for a quieter kind of recognition? One that doesn't need an audience, only authenticity? Your journey may just give someone else permission to stop performing and start becoming. You've come a long way, Leo. And the truth is, this moment isn't just about you receiving a blessing, it's about what happens after you do. Because when something sacred lands in your hands, the energy doesn't stop there. It expands. And whether you realize it yet or not, you are being called into a new role. Not just as a recipient, but as a keeper of the field. The one who nurtures it, protects it, cultivates it for more than just your own abundance. This shift from me to we doesn't mean losing your personal joy or financial gain. It means understanding that what you've been through, what you've overcome, what you've waited so patiently for, it wasn't just preparing you to hold wealth. It was preparing you to become a place where wealth could bloom for others, too. You're not just arriving at the feast anymore. You're becoming the table. And that changes things. It shifts the way you move through the world. It softens the urgency to prove yourself, because you now recognize that your energy is what attracts, not your effort alone. It changes the way you think about generosity, not from a place of lack or pressure, but from a deep knowing that what flows through you is meant to keep flowing. The law of attraction teaches us that we receive more of what we are. But here's something most people miss. The more you quietly embody fullness, the more the universe begins to entrust you with the kind of opportunities and connections that don't just elevate your life, they ripple out into others. It's a magnetic frequency that doesn't chase. It draws in. Not by noise, but by resonance. So ask yourself, what are you becoming a container for? When the money comes, the peace, the unexpected yes, the opportunity you stopped hoping for, what will you do with it? This is the time to start building the emotional structure to hold it. And it doesn't take much. It could be as simple as lighting a candle on the night of October 15th and placing a small envelope under it with your name and a note to yourself, maybe a dollar bill or a coin, something symbolic. You're telling the universe, I'm not just here to wish. I'm here to steward. Or maybe it's writing down your new goals, not the ones that came from fear or pressure, but the ones that rise from your new sense of possibility. Or maybe you sit for 5 quiet minutes and thank your past self for not giving up when everything felt stalled. Gratitude, when practiced intentionally, becomes the soil where future blessings take root. Because make no mistake, this is not random. This is not luck. What's coming to you now is meant to multiply through you. And the way you prepare determines how far it reaches. There's a kind of quiet revolution happening through your alignment. You may not be shouting about it, but your frequency is doing the talking. And people feel it, even if they don't have the words for it. So let me ask you, not just as a guide, but as someone who's been where you are, what will you sow from this gift that's arriving? What kind of space will you create in your life for peace, for giving, for meaningful direction? I'd love to hear your answer in the comments. Not because you need to explain yourself, but because when you say it out loud, you claim it. You anchor it. You make it real. And trust me, Leo, the world needs more real. More quiet leadership. More radiant generosity. And you're ready. Not just to be blessed, but to become a blessing. Leo, your biggest miracle will not come when you're hustling. It will arrive when you're still enough to receive it. This message wasn't meant to rush you, it was meant to remind you. You don't have to earn your worth by constantly doing, fixing, proving. You are already enough. The blessing is already en route. The miracle doesn't need you to be louder. It needs you to be quieter, steadier, more rooted in the truth of who you already are. You are not someone who chases. You are someone who calls blessings forward with your alignment. Right now, in this very moment, you are being asked to pause, not because you're stuck, but because you're being positioned. It may feel quiet, and even a bit lonely, but that silence is sacred. It's the quiet before destiny shifts. It's the hush before the curtain rises on a new act of your life. And when it does, Leo, you won't be the same person who waited. You'll be the one who was wise enough to prepare while the world slept. You'll be the one who heard the whisper while others looked for noise. So I want you to try something with me. Place your hand gently on your heart and breathe into the space behind your chest. Say these words softly, but say them like you mean them. I am the heir to divine abundance. I do not chase. I receive. I am already chosen. Feel how your body softens as you say that. That's not just a mantra. That's your soul remembering the truth. Because here's the truth, the universe isn't measuring your readiness by your productivity. It's sensing the softness of your spirit. The moment you stop doubting your worthiness, the blessings accelerate. The moment you say, I don't need to prove it anymore, the door quietly opens. And what's behind that door, Leo, is not just money, it's a lifestyle shift, a relationship elevation, a soul level upgrade. You've been planted. And now, you grow not by doing more, but by trusting more. There's no need to shout. The miracle has already heard you. Your only task now is to remain still, open, and deeply grounded in knowing you are enough, exactly as you are. Let that knowing be your vibration. Let it call in the abundance that's been circling your energy for months, maybe even years, waiting for the moment you'd finally stop running and say, I'm ready. I trust. I receive. So tell me in the comments, I am ready. I am still. I am the field of miracles. That's your energetic key. That's how you tell the universe you're no longer waiting for permission. You are the one who chooses to receive. If this message stirred something inside of you, lock in the frequency by liking this video. Subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness so you never miss a transmission your soul has been waiting for. And remember, stillness isn't stagnation. It's sacred preparation. Your next chapter is being written in quiet ink. And it's going to be loud with blessings.